export, bigger economy. But well, you know, he's not going to see these Hellions coming out either. So I mean, those Hellions are going to be a big deal as well. And well, once those Hellions decide to pressure, you know, this is a big area here. It's not really a map where you want to put down a lot of spine crawlers to defend. You know, you bring out a couple of Hellions, you can roast a lot of drones with that. You want to have, as Zerg, you want to have some roaches out. You know, a good amount of roaches. Otherwise, Blue Flame Hellions are going to be hell. These Hellions are going to be hell, you know. So, well, he does have the creep spread pretty good, you know, connecting the bases. He's getting that lair. The lair's actually going to be finishing up here pretty shortly here. And he does have all the gases. So with that in mind, he's probably going to be going for that Spire. And when mutas come out, those Hellions are not going to be able to do too much. But we'll see if PrAeToR decides to push with those Hellions or not. You know, the Blue Flame's kind of finishing up here. If he was going to push, I believe he would have done it, or at least, you know, started going out there by now. So I think he's just going to sit tight and defend with those. You know, if he lost, you know, if he pushed out there and lost them all, then it'd be like, okay, what do I defend with? I have 2 bunkers, and this is a wide-ass area to defend. So just kind of chilling back. Nope, apparently you're going to go for it. Apparently I just don't get anything right today. But Dirty Deeds does not have pretty much of anything to defend this with. He has a couple of Zerglings. And, well, more than a couple, I should say. You know, quite a few Zerglings. But there is Blue Flame Hellions. That's a lot of Blue Flame Hellions. And that's not going to be enough Zerglings to take out Blue Flame Hellions. So once the Spire finishes, I'm sure he's going to get a bunch of mutas to deal with them. But for the meantime, it looks like he's probably going to be losing a lot of creep, losing a lot of Zerglings possibly. The Queens could possibly go forward, do some damage. Looks like the Zerglings are going to go for it, and the Hellions are in a very tight corner. Zerglings do not want to engage in that spot. And, well, the Hellions are coming around, possibly going to go back to their base, maybe just up to the watchtowers and around, maybe to this hatchery again. I don't know, just kind of moving around, you know, having some good map control, seeing what's going on around the map, taking care of the watchtowers, making sure Zerg doesn't have that map control. And, well, the Spider's going to be finishing up here soon. And it looks like PrAeToR is going to be getting up those reactors, going to be pumping out a lot of Marines here once he has those finished. Looks like he's low on the minerals, so I don't even know how many he's going to be able to afford with those tanks coming out. And actually, he's actually supply blocked. Wow, okay, so just kind of building everything at once, like a bunch of missile turrets, a bunch of reactors, a couple of supply depots, you know, kind of a blunder there, but it does happen from time to time. I don't want to pick away at him for that, because that happens to the best of everyone. I don't care who you are, you just kind of do that from time to time. Like, oh, that's right, I got a macro, you know, I can move these Hellions around all day, I gotta go back and macro a little bit. But, well, looks like the Hellions are now coming into this third, gonna be roasting some guys. Well, there's Queen here. Queen's not gonna do too well against that many Hellions. But the mutas are out now, the mutas are gonna be cleaning this up. But not after a couple of drones roast. And even these drones want to have a part of that action. Alright, so lots of Marines, or, wow, Banelings and Zerglings, not a lot of Marines. If there's a lot of Marines, they would be in the base here, and there's not a lot of Marines, so... these Marines, wow, yeah, these Zerglings and Banelings, well, you know, if he wanted to, he could actually bust in here and kill a bunch of SCVs, you know, that's something that I like to do, you know. You don't really see it a lot anymore. I don't see a lot of engineering bays go down in this spot anymore, like there should be. You know, Banelings should just hide back here and then run in there whenever they want. You know, you distract your Terran opponent with your mutas in the main here. You know, he sends his, you know, a couple of Marines back there and he leaves a couple of tanks, but all these SCVs are going to be very easily killed off with just a couple of Banelings. So, I mean, that would be a huge factor there. So, for all you Zergers out there, I think a lot of Zergs are not laying down the pressure that they could do these days. You know, there's a lot of pressure that is out there to be had, and not a lot of Zerg players I see doing it. So, but yeah. Anyways, looks like Dirty Deeds looking to expand once again. He does have quite a few drones out. Let's look at that count. We do have 59 drones to 57 SCVs, so it looks like he's just joining up to the correct amount, just being very smart about like when to drone, when to build units. You know, it's having very good timing sense of that. I gotta give it to him for that. Very good timing sense of when to drone up. But at the same time, it seems like he's just droning up like, oh, at this time I need to have this many drones, or at this time I need to have this many units. Whereas maybe he wants to play it off a little bit more of, okay, my opponent has this, I need to get more units, or I can afford to get more drones, type of thing. You know, that's how I try to play. That's really hard to do, but you know, I'd say pays in dividends. Anyways, looks like PrAeToR is going to be pulling out here. He does have a lot of tanks. That is actually a lot of tanks. A whole bunch of Marines and some Marauder, or some Hellions, not Marauders. Roaches, for the record, would do fairly well against this, but it looks like our buddy with all those Zerglings, I love Zerglings too. Zerglings are just awesome. Zerglings and Banelings. Who doesn't love seeing Banelings explode all over a big group of Marines? Like, that is just like once you do it, it's like, oh man, that was awesome. That just feels so good. But anyways, looks like the tanks are spread out pretty well. It's going to be rather hard for Zerg to bust in here at this position. A very good placement for our Terran friend here. And, well, the mutas do have the +1. It looks like the Marines have +1. No tank upgrades. Let's see, Zerglings and Banelings looks like +2 attack. So, actually, Dirty Deeds is doing much better on the upgrades. And I do know Zerglings and Banelings do pretty well against Marines with superior upgrades. Right now he's up 1 upgrade, and that can help him quite a bit against these Mariners. For now, it looks like Terran just going to be, making sure he doesn't lose his shit, because I see that a lot, even at high-level play. Players just lose all their tanks and shit by going too far. Anyway, Zerg is busting there. Banelings are exploding all over the battlefield. Lots of Marines lost, but there's still a lot left. That's usually how it goes. A lot of mutas out, but looks like Dirty Deeds is doing smart and correct thing of just backing off a little bit. But yeah, you gotta worry about that tank. That tank is going to be shelling away at your hatchery. And it looks like the hatchery still has plenty of hit points, so it looks like it's going to be alright. Alright, so mutas going in there with a couple of Marines, or a couple of Zerglings. You want those Zerglings to absorb some of that damage. It looks like he's going to go for it, take out everything. And, well, Terran reinforcements are on the approach, but, well, there's not enough Zerglings and Banelings. Wow, I don't know how I keep getting that wrong. It's a completely different race. But he's going to be continuing with this attack here. Plenty of, or not enough Marines here to really kill off the mutas too fast, but I mean, those mutas definitely do not want to engage that kind of position. And okay, so that tank so close to dead. It's such a bummer to see that. Like, you want to kill off that tank, but like, your mutas are like all gonna die if you do. So you go and retreats, and yeah. Anyways, it looks like PrAeToR is gonna be expanding now. Once again, I do wish he would expand a little bit sooner, but whatever. It's his own thing. If he wants to do more of a bigger push after 2 bases and then expand a little bit later, that's fine. You just got to make sure you do enough damage. And, well, he killed off that hatchery, so I mean, that is, to me, that's enough. That's feeling pretty good. At the same time, Dirty Deeds, he does have a lot of unspent money. If he spent that money, that attack would not have gone as well. And, well, he's throwing down a couple of macro hatches to make up for it. One of the things is, when you go with Zerglings and Banelings, you need a lot of hatcheries. Like, a lot of freaking hatcheries. Like, even if you have really good queen, larva spew, you still need a lot of hatcheries. Because, like, you just get so much money because they take up so many eggs. And, well, Terran's going to be securing this gold now. Plenty of tanks once again. Lots of, actually, that is a ton of Marines. And, well, these mutas are not going to be able to get in there, but there is a pretty good juicy natural here for him to chew away at. And the missile turret goes down. Another missile turret in the back there going to be going down as well. A couple of SVs being picked off, repairing that first missile turret. And immediately another missile turret goes down. So PrAeToR here, he doesn't have a lot of Marines back there yet. They are on their way. A little bit of a slower response, but it looks like there is just so many mutas it's going to be hard to deal with them from here on out. And wow. Dirty Deeds just expanded everywhere, man. He does have a lot of spine crawlers going up at his goal. That's usually the place you want to defend the most, because they do give you a lot of minerals, as you know. And, well, we'll see if Dirty Deeds decides to try to push in there or not. I would not suggest that. There's just so many tanks. And if PrAeToR spreads them out even more, like, that would be even harder to destroy. And, well, he's actually going to push out here, now that that planetary fortress is going to be finishing up here. Now, of course, Zerglings could still get back there, kill off a lot of SCVs, so you got to worry about that. But you just got to make sure that this push is strong enough that your Zerg opponent does not want to do that. That's kind of saying, oh, my opponent's not going to be smart enough to counterattack right now. But at the same time, you're threatening this gold, and he really wants to keep that gold. So probably the best idea would be to push. Wow, even some missile turrets going up really quickly without even noticing. And while the Marines are shelling away at that well, looks like the Spine Crawler looks like they're going to go on to that hatchery now. A couple of tanks, well, one tank being killed off anyway. And, well, there's just not enough mutas here to deal with all that. You know, the Zerglings and Banelings kind of just chilling back here. I wish he would have sprinted forward a little bit more when tanks were just rolling in there, you know, when they're unsieged. Oh, right now it's absolutely perfect. PrAeToR gave him an opportunity, and those Banelings are exploding all over the place. A lot of Marines being killed off here. There's still a handful left. There's still actually a lot being produced as well. But yeah, those mutas are going to have to get out of there. There's just too many Marines with that +1/+1 upgrade thing. And PrAeToR is going to continue with this attack, pushing forward with these two tanks and a bunch of Marines. This base is probably going to be going down. There's just not enough guys being pumped out right now. It looks like, wow, Dirty Deeds is droning up right now. He does not have any Zerglings or Banelings being produced. He only has this handful of, I almost call them Marines again, these Zerglings. And this handful of mutas. God. Wow. But anyways, it looks like PrAeToR are going to be splitting up a little bit. You know, just coming back after taking out that gold, going for the expansion up here. Just kind of going, ringing around the rosy, you know, saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to attack you here, then retreat, and then attack you over here and retreat, and make it so it's just really hard to defend all these places. And actually grouping up his guys, so I mean, these mutas are not going to want to go in there. And, well, Dirty Deeds probably made that wrong decision, just droning up instead of getting more Zerglings out. And I mean, he does have all these hatcheries. I mean, I feel like he's maybe not using them. I don't know. It just, yeah, he has a lot of larvae here. If he used them on Zerglings and things, he could take this out, you know? Get a couple of Banelings, you know, bust in there, destroy the place. Or at least, you know, all these Marines that are killing off your shit. 'Cause yeah, this is going to be it. If he loses this hatchery is actually the only mining hatchery right now. If he loses this one hatchery, it's going to be it. There's 54 Zerglings being produced right now. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Of course, you do need them more from the into Banelings to do more damage if you want that extra damage. But well, all right. So he does have a couple of Banelings out already. I don't know. I feel like he could use maybe a couple of them over there. You know, it's going to be really hard pushing in here against these tanks. Yeah, that's not going to go too well. Kind of a poor engagement, to be perfectly honest. You know, he kind of went this way. Well, let's watch all these guys explode real fast. But I feel like if he came from this position and this position, instead of like this tiny spot, you know, like that's a tiny funnel you're creating for yourself because of this low ground position here. So, I mean, as Zerg, you never want to just say like, okay, 1A move. Because all your shit's just going to die right there. You know, if you counterattacked, maybe you could have destroyed this. And then, I don't know, if he had another base going up or if he just defended one, at some point he could have, you know, produce enough guys to eventually take all those guys out. You know, that counterattack could have been really, really devastating to PrAeToR. PrAeToR, I think, maybe needs to watch out for that in the future. You know, I'm not here to tell you you're just a bad player, because you're honestly, you know, of course, way better than I am. But, I don't know, I guess I just have a habit of pointing out a few things that people might want to work on. Let's see, game number 3 shall be this one. And actually, I'm going to pause real quick. Before this one, I just got to check something real fast. Okay. Alright, so let's start this. Gotta remember the hotkey. Let's see, is it on? Okay, it is on that right thing. Alright, well, let's start. Let's get up that overlay. Looks like John is playing against PrAeToR. John has spawned at the top left as our red Zerger. And PrAeToR, of course, playing as Terran, our blue Terran buddy, spawned at the top right. And once again, this is Shakur's Plateau. And, well, let's see if there's going to be... I don't know if he knows John or not. Or if he just knows him because of, I don't know. I don't know where you know him from. Maybe they are friends then. But, anyways, we'll see if Zerg goes with that fast hatchery, or if he, you know, if Terran decides to go for a fast command center. You know, it's pretty eminent that Zerg can bust in there, but at the same time, you know, the supply depot wall at the top here can prove to be a big issue. So, I mean, this is kind of one of the maps that was kind of like, okay, should I, you know, as Zerg, players are starting to be like, okay, should I just bust in there with the 6-pool? You know, like, if he's fast expanding, you know, of course that's going to be really good. But at the same time, if he doesn't fast expand, it's kind of like game over. So I would not suggest doing it, but it's kind of one of those things. This is one of the maps where it's like, okay,